because I had told you all that I will give you all a little Chaitanya Charitamrita class. So even though the temple wants to have an Ishtagoshti, I said I'll just give a quick story and then the Ishtagoshti points. So I'll tell you the story of Mādhavendra Purī. This is a very nice story that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very, very fond of. This is in the Madhya Leela section of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Mādhavendra Purī was a very, very great devotee of the Lord. And one day he had completed the circumambulation of the Govardhan hill. And after having completed the circumambulation, he was resting underneath a tree and he was hungry. So while he was resting, he was not asleep, but he had just closed his eyes and he was relaxing. And also he was fasting. A very beautiful young boy came there with a pot and some milk inside. And the young boy said, "Oh sage, you look very hungry. So, in my village, nobody goes hungry. So here is some milk for you." Mādhavendra Purī said, "How did you know that I was hungry?" The boy said, "The village woman had come to take water from the well. And when they came to take water from the well, they saw that you were tired. So they came and told me that you were hungry." So the boy said, "Please drink this milk and I will come back later and take the pot from you." So Mādhavendra Purī, he was just struck by the beauty of that boy. He had never seen such a beautiful boy before, but he did not know who this boy was. So that same night, Mādhavendra Purī had a dream. And in that dream, that same boy again appeared. And in the dream, the boy took Mādhavendra Purī to a location and said, "Here I am, buried under the bushes. Please take me out of this place. I'm suffering the heat." The boy said, "I'm Gopal, the lifter of Govardhan hill. And when the Mahamajans had come, all that they had destroyed the temples, and the pujari, to save me, he hid me under these bushes. And I've been lying under these bushes in extreme heat for a long time." Like I told you all yesterday, when I was explaining Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Khora More by Narottam Das Thakur, that the Goswamis re-established the 5,000 temples that you see in Vrindavan, because nearly all these temples had been destroyed by the Mahamajans rulers who invaded North India. So Mādhavendra Purī started meditating on the order that the deity had given him in the dream. He was feeling very sorry that Krishna had come to him to give him milk, and he did not even recognize that here was Krishna. So Mādhavendra Purī was just lamenting that he could not recognize Krishna. But then Mādhavendra Purī started meditating on the order that the deity of Gopal gave him in the dream. And what was that order? So I just said that. To build a temple. To build a temple for the deity. So when Mādhavendra Purī started meditating on the order that the deity of Gopal had given him, then at once his mind became tranquil and peaceful. So from this we learn a very important message. The important message is that when you meditate on the orders of Guru and Krishna, then your mind will become peaceful. And when your mind is meditating on your own ambitions, then your mind will never be peaceful. So the main reason why people are not peaceful today is they're all meditating on their own ambitions and on their own plans. So Mādhavendra Purī was meditating on the order that the deity had given him. So the next morning he went and assembled all the villagers together. And he told them what had transpired in the dream. So he took all the villagers with him to that same location which appeared in the dream. And all the villagers saw, yes, there was the deity there. The deity of Gopal was there. That deity of Gopal was installed by Braja. Braja is the grandson of Krishna. It was such an old deity. And that deity was so heavy to carry that several strong men were needed to carry it. So Mādhavendra Purī established an altar, just like you have an altar for Gonithai. He made an altar made of stone, and very soon, in a very grand ceremony, the deity of Gopal was installed. This was such a grand ceremony. All the villagers came with foodstuff, and everyone all the neighbors brought cows and very opulent offerings were prepared for the Lord. The body of the deity was massaged with oil and then with ghee and water. And there was a big Abhishek ceremony performed. So Mādhavendra Purī established the very opulent system of deity worship. Then sandalwood pulp was applied on the deity. Tulsi flowers, tulsi garlands and flower garlands were offered. And then the Lord was offered very opulent foodstuff. And all the villagers, they brought their cows and whatever they could afford, they offered everything to the Lord. The deities are the proprietor of everything. So, therefore the devotee offers everything to the deities. Ishvara means controller. Just like in London, when Prabhupada installed Radha Krishna deities in London, he called them Shri London Ishvara, the controllers of London. They are the real controllers and proprietors of London, not the materialists. So when Prabhupada installed Radha Krishna deities in Paris, he named them Shri Paris Ishvara. So you have Shri Gaurnitai deities here. So they're also Gaurnitai are the real Ishvaras of Moscow, not the government or whatever. So all the villagers, they brought all rich offerings and offered them to the deities. And then the deity of Gopal ate the offering. When you and I eat, the plate becomes empty. But when Krishna eats, does the plate become empty? No, it doesn't become empty. The plate remains as it is. Because Krishna eats with his eyes and ears. Krishna hears the mantra offered by the devotees through the ears and he sees through his eyes. Plus, the food gets mixed with what is known as Krishna's saliva. Food, when it's mixed with Krishna's saliva, it becomes known as prasad. If somebody spits at you, you almost feel like slapping him, isn't it? Sometimes you're talking to people and some people have a habit of spitting while talking. It happens in your country also. So, but when Krishna spits on the food, it becomes prasad. So, when you're talking about eating prasad, devotees generally think prasada means the mercy of the Lord. Yes, it is mercy of the Lord. But why has it become mercy of the Lord? Because Krishna has eaten it. And his saliva gets mixed with the food. And when you distribute this prasad, everybody gets purified. Therefore, Prabhupada said in Kali Yuga, you win people through the ears and the belly. Through the ears, what do you give them? Holy name. And to the mouth, to the belly, what do you give them? Krishna Prasad. So Krishna Prasad is one of the three weapons that Prabhupada gave us. Just like your Russian Defense Forces has Air Force, Navy and Army. And when you have a war, the Air Force is in action, the Navy is in action, and the Army is in action. So we are also at war. Against whom? Maya. So we also have to put our forces, defense forces at work. So our army is the book distribution devotees who go out and distribute books. And then you have the devotees who go into Harinam. And then you have the devotees who go into Prasad distribution, Food for Life. So Food for Life was a very important program which Prabhupada emphasized. And here in Moscow, from Monday, we are going to have Food for Life on a very grand scale. Our plan is now in old Soviet Union to have Food for Life programs everywhere, but starting with Moscow. Actually, the correct name is Prasad for Life, because Food for Life appears mundane word. But there is a reason why we are calling it Food for Life and not Prasad for Life. Because we are dealing in the material world where people want to know, what charitable things we are doing, and where people do not attach great importance to religious activities. Instead of the word Prasad, we are using the word food. But actually, it is Prasad for Life for devotees and Food for Life for karmis. So we're going to start this program of Prasad for Life from next week. And if any of you want to help in this program, you all can see Krishna Kumar Prabhu. So by eating Krishna Prasad, the brain tissues get purified. Your senses get purified. And then with purified senses, you can understand who you are, the eternal servant of Krishna. Jivera Surupaya Krishna Nityadas. You have to understand that we are dogs of Krishna. So just like the dog serves the master, we should always be anxious to serve our real master. So Mādhavendra Purī was very happy that a very nice installation of the deity took place. Prasad was distributed to all the people. And then Mādhavendra Purī had another dream. The same boy came again in the dream. And what did that boy say? He said, I'm still feeling very warm. Jarka. So he said, I'm still feeling very warm. So I want some sandalwood to be applied on my body. So in order to get this sandalwood, Mādhavendra Purī would have to travel from Govardhan, northern India, to eastern India, Orissa. These days when your devotees come to India, you just go by Samalot from Delhi to Calcutta, and in 2 hours you are there, so no problem. But there was no Samalot for Mādhavendra Purī. He traveled on foot 2,000 kilometers just to bring the sandalwood for the deity of Gopal. And he traveled on foot and he came to Orissa. In Orissa, there was a very famous temple called 𝐾𝐲𝐬𝐭𝐫𝐚𝐜 Gopinath temple in Remuna. And Mādhavendra Purī wanted to see how he could improve the standard of deity worship for his Gopal deity. This is the devotee's meditation. How can I make my service better? So whatever your service is, try to improve upon it. If you're a cook, always meditate, how can you cook for Krishna better? If you're a book distributor, always meditate, how I can distribute more books to conditioned souls. If you're a pujari, always meditate, how you can dress the deities better. And if you're constantly meditating on your service, then your mind will get purified. And then your mind will not meditate on sense gratification and illicit activities. So, Mādhavendra Purī wanted to go, he went to this temple of Remuna to see how that temple was very famous for offering nice sweet rice to the deities. So the Lord was very pleased by Mādhavendra Puri's surrender. Because Mādhavendra Purī traveled 2,000 miles just to bring the sandalwood for the deity of the Lord. So Mādhavendra Purī felt very embarrassed that he wanted to taste the sweet rice which is offered to Lord Vishnu, because actually he wanted to taste it so he knew how to cook better sweet rice for the deities, but he felt very embarrassed by this thought. So Mādhavendra Purī felt very embarrassed that he had developed the desire to taste the sweet rice that is meant for the deities. So he offered his obeisances, saw the arati, and he left the temple and he went in the market. That night, the pujari in the temple of Radha 𝐾𝐲𝐬𝐭𝐫𝐚𝐜 Gopinath had a dream. And in the dream, the Lord said, I have stolen a glass of sweet rice and hidden it behind the curtain. You please take that sweet rice and keep it aside, and you go to the market and find out where is Mādhavendra Purī and give him the sweet rice. So the pujari went in the market, said, Gadye Mādhavendra Purī, Gadye Mādhavendra Purī, where is Mādhavendra? So finally Mādhavendra Purī said, Etaya, this is me. Stolen a glass of sweet rice and kept it aside for him. So when Mādhavendra Purī heard that the Lord personally stole a glass of sweet rice for him, his ecstasy knew no limits. He was in ecstasy that the Lord has stolen a glass of sweet rice to feed to me. So that priest could understand that Mādhavendra Purī is a very advanced devotee. That is why Krishna stole a glass of sweet rice to feed him. Just like the devotee is anxious to serve the Lord is anxious to serve the devotee. Therefore, there is transcendental competition between the Lord and the devotee. Krishna served Mādhavendra Purī when he came as a young boy and gave him milk. Now again, serving him by stealing sweet rice for him. So Mādhavendra Purī became very famous. Krishna stole a sweet rice for him. Just like now, if you have a big movie star or football star, he comes in your area, everybody says, oh, famous star. So those days, society was more civilized. They used to honor saintly people. These days, they criticize saintly people and honor corrupt people. So Mādhavendra Purī was feeling very embarrassed that everybody is thinking that he is a very great devotee. So he ran away from there and he went to Jagannath Puri. But even when he came to Jagannath Puri, everybody knew that this man is very great devotee. So Mādhavendra Purī, with the help of the Jagannath Puri government officials, they arranged for all the sandalwood and everything that he was going to carry and take it back to Mathura. Those days, the government everywhere was being controlled by the Mohammedans. So they were very much against carrying a paraphernalia for deities and so on. But with great difficulty, but still, the officials of the Jagannath Puri temple obtained all the papers so that Mādhavendra Purī could carry the sandalwood without any difficulty from the border policeman like you have. So all arrangements were made, but on the way back to Mathura, to Govardhan, Mādhavendra Purī again stopped at the temple of 𝐾𝐲𝐬𝐭𝐫𝐚𝐜 Gopinath. Why is that temple called 𝐾𝐲𝐬𝐭𝐫𝐚𝐜 Gopinath? Chor means a thief and Kheer means sweet rice. So somebody may say, what type of God is this? You call him this thief, one who stole sweet rice. But Krishna performed so many transcendental activities for his devotees. So that on the way back, Mādhavendra Purī, after greeting the deities and in Remuna temple, he was taking rest. And that night again he had a dream. And in the dream, Gopal said, you have obtained this sandalwood, but there is no difference between me, Gopal, and Govardhan, and the deity that is here in the temple. So you don't have to carry the sandalwood back to Govardhan. Just apply the sandalwood on the deity in the temple where you are. So next morning, Mādhavendra Purī told this dream to all the other pujaris in the temple. And they were very happy. And the sandalwood was applied to the deity of Kishore Gopinath, Radha Gopinath. So this is briefly the story of Mādhavendra Purī. Why Krishna did not let Mādhavendra Purī carry the sandalwood from Orissa back to Govardhan? Because it would have been too much trouble to carry this heavy sandalwood 2,000 kilometers and having to pass through the border posts of the Muslim policeman. So, from this story of Mādhavendra Purī, you can learn how Krishna is always ready to serve his devotee and how the devotee is always ready to serve the Lord. Okay? Hare Krishna. Of course, there are a few more points in the story, but I just made a little brief. So meditate on this story. Tomorrow I'll give you another story from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay, so now it's time for Ishta Goshti. After all, you must understand that the Bhagavatam class you hear, the Chaitanya Charitamrita class, the Gita class you hear, the chanting you do, all this is meant to culminate in one thing. And that's one thing is service. If you hear all day, read all day and don't do any service, then it's useless. We would all like to just chant and read all day. Then who will do the preaching? Prabhupada could also have done that in Vrindavan. So we also have service to do. In fact, there's so much service to do in ISKCON, whether you're in Moscow or Bombay or London, the 24 hours is just not enough. So many conditioned souls have to be saved. Our mentality should be like Vasudeva Datta. Vasudeva Datta said, take everyone back to Godhead and let me suffer and take the reaction. So we want all devotees to take part in this book distribution marathon. Also to help in the selling of tickets for the Gauranga Bhajan Band. The Krishna Kumar can tell you more about this, but there are tickets at 50 rubles that have to be sold. So there isn't much time left, I was told, so it has to be done fast. And then we are starting this Food for Life program. Okay, Walid Vamsa Prabhu is going to be in charge of this Food for Life program, but he's a little sick at the moment. Are there any volunteers who would like to take part in this Food Prasad for Life program?
What is to be done?
What is to be done? Cut vegetables, serve prasad, grow vegetables in the field. Then you have to take the vegetables out of the field and bring them by foot to the temple. Cutting sabji, cooking, serving, chanting. They need some healthy people who know how to use a knife and cut sabji and not their own hands. Sometimes people cut their own fingers while cutting sabji. So, any volunteers for this? Wash? Of course, if they're devotees from outside Moscow, from other yatras, then you have to get permission from your temple president. But if you're an independent freelancer, then it's different. So how many people would like to volunteer in this Prasad for Life program? Yes. You should take the names. Put your hands up. Siyadin, Niyati Nagda, Siyakazdadin, Vashgato. So how many people are ready to do this Food Prasad for Life program on a daily basis? We need it for 2 months. In 2 months, they'll test you out. If you're good, then you can continue on the job. Because there are many applicants, so they're selecting the best. Okay. So who are the people? Really? Take their names, Prabhu. And they can come to Krishna Kumar Prabhu's office at 10 o'clock with your passport and your... Okay. And those who are selected for this program, they're also going to be trained by Shrikant in cooking. Yes, and Shrikant will help also. So Shrikant's here for some time, so while I learn my Russian, you people can learn cooking. Okay. So all those who are coming for this Food for Life, Prasad for Life, please see Krishna Kumar in his office at 10 o'clock, okay? And one thing is about this Prasad for Life program, this program is going to get a lot of television coverage. So if any of you want to become television stars, here's an opportunity. Okay. So, anything, do you devotees want to bring up any points quickly? We only have 5-10 minutes left. So yes, I'll take on 1 or 2 questions from you. Yeah, this is Ishta Goshti now, so if you devotees want to say anything, please speak quickly. Yeah.
My question is about the service. Who should direct one to serve? Who should give somebody service? Because one authority says you should do this service, another one you should do.
Okay. So, generally in a temple, you have the temple president, vice president, department heads. So, very often the president will delegate duties to the department head, and the department head will give duty to his people under him. So, ultimately for your service, you should have only one authority. The problem when there are too many authorities is that then people take advantage of it, and one doesn't surrender to anybody. Because the devotee tells authority A, I'm working under authority B. He tells authority B, I'm working under authority A. Well, at least you should finish 10 rounds, 12 rounds before you go. So then you can maybe do, but you should make your schedule in such a way, best is if you finish all your rounds before you go. You should only take 2 hours to do your round. So doesn't arrange those 2 hours and then go. Okay, any other point, any other important point from any Moscow devotee? This is Moscow Ishtagoshti.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.